right now at 7.
I hope people understand the magnitude of this moment.
Is a new lockdown inevitable? The warning from the governor tonight that appears to point to another statewide stay-at-home order.
If these trends continue, we're going to have to take much more dramatic, arguably drastic action.
Is it going to work?
I don't think so. Most younger folks tend to like to go out.
Travel out of town, then quarantine for 14 days. Will people really follow these strict new travel rules in the South Bay?
And where will they practice? Santa Clara County is now forcing the 49ers to take an unscheduled 2-week road trip.
Second thing is we need a practice field to play on, and then obviously we need a stadium to play in.
Right now on the KPIX 5 News at 7 and streaming on CBS Bay Area. Live looks across the Bay Area. Tonight's curfew kicks in less than 3 hours for all the counties but Marin. And a statewide lockdown could be on the way. Good evening. I'm Ken Bastida.
And I'm Elizabeth Cook. There's fear tonight some Bay Area counties could move into a deep purple category. And statewide, in the last 24 hours, there were more than 14,000 new cases. The positivity rate now over 6%. Hospitalization rates taking a huge day-to-day jump. Tonight, more than 8,500 patients are in the hospital. In fact, Governor Newsom warned from the Capitol earlier that the state could run out of ICU beds by Christmas. He's not ruling out an even tougher stay-at-home order.
KPIX 5's Andrea Borba live in San Francisco to tell us what could happen in this deep purple tier. Andrea?
Well, Ken, if you remember March, it could look a lot like that with a very tight lockdown to try and slow the transmission of this virus as we head into the holidays.
But we are really in a different situation with transmission than we've ever faced before.
Sober words from Dr. Mark Galley about spiking COVID-19 case rates across California and the drastic action that might be needed to keep the healthcare system from snapping under the pressure.
Bottom line is we are looking at intensive care unit capacity as the primary trigger for deeper, more restrictive action.
Right now, 75% of the ICU beds in California are filled, with 112% capacity expected by Christmas Eve. In the Bay Area, 72% of ICU beds are filled right now, with 91% expected capacity on Christmas. Some plans made back in March, including field hospitals at Arco Arena and Sacramento, are back in play as the virus surges anew. In addition to beds, the state is looking again to staff those beds with people who signed up early on.
And right now we have 871 individuals that are active and registered as part of our health corps. We're going to be dusting that off.
Restrictions, dubbed Deep Purple, are already in place in Los Angeles County and could come to all other counties in the purple tier before the end of the week.
Working with our local partners to make sure what we do is both impactful and as time limited as possible.
Now, one of the things they will be taking a close look at is case rates coming out of this Thanksgiving holiday. They want to see exactly how much transmission of the virus there has been, and they want to make sure before they impose any potential lockdowns at this point that they're using as small of a window as possible. They say they want to make this as narrow as they can, as for the shortest amount of time as they can, to not inflict too much more damage onto society at large. Live in San Francisco tonight, Andrea Borba, KPIX 5.
All right, Andrea, thank you.
The governor is also pushing Congress tonight to, quote, stop bickering and move forward with another federal stimulus package. He also announced some new immediate relief for small businesses across California.
Billions of dollars of opportunity for small businesses that have collected sales taxes and owe sales taxes in this first line up to $1 million of sales tax that is owed to get a 3-month extension, in essence, a float. We have to be more mindful than ever about the economic impact and consequences of these further restrictions.
Let's take a live look at Minetta, San Jose tonight, where some new travel rules are in effect. Santa Clara County issued a mandatory directive that discourages non-essential travel. It also requires people returning from more than 150 miles away to quarantine for 14 days. Essential workers and day trips into the county are exempt. Health officials did not go into detail about enforcement or penalties.
Is it going to work?
I don't think so. Most younger folks tend to like to go out, and they don't like being just at home by themselves.
Do you think a 14-day quarantine is overreaching?
If you've been tested, yes. But if you've been tested, you should be able to travel without the quarantine.
Well, tonight, Santa Clara County is now forcing the 49ers to take an unscheduled 2-week road trip for their next home games. But where will they practice?
KPIX 5 Sports Director Dennis O'Donnell joins us with what the team is saying about all of this. Dennis?
Liz, Ken, Kyle Shanahan said the 49ers felt blindsided by Santa Clara County's decision to ban contact sports for at least 21 days. In fact, it was a weekend filled with more questions than answers.
Are we going to be gone for the entire month of December? Are we going to be quarantined for 14 days when we get back? I mean, that's all we could talk about for the last 18 hours because we got no answers from them.
Well, Shanahan got one answer today. The 49ers will play their next 2 games, home games, at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium in Glendale, beginning next week when they host the Bills on Monday Night Football. Now, they just got to find a place to practice for the next 3 weeks.
The biggest thing for me is us all leaving our families. I mean, we're all humans just like everyone else, and it's a big deal to leave your family for the whole month of December. A huge deal, as everyone knows. I know where we're at. We feel very confident not picking it up and being only around people who are tested every day. So now we got to find another place, and so that's where it starts. I mean, we need a place that we can feel safe and stay, because we're not going to be able to go to our homes anymore that are safe. So we're going to have to stay in a hotel or somewhere.
So a lot of confusion right now for the San Francisco 49ers, but Liz, Ken, on the bright side, they beat the Rams yesterday, and they're right back in the thick of the playoff race. In fact, they're only 1 game behind the Arizona Cardinals, the team that is going to help them for the next 2 weeks.
Dennis, you can really hear the frustration in Kyle's voice, and I think this comes on the heels of what is already a lousy relationship, I'll say it, between the county, the city of Santa Clara, and the team, and then to ask them with almost no notice to have to spend most of the month, the holidays, essentially, away from their families. That I could hear it in his voice.
Well, Santa Clara responded to the coach's comments today, saying, how could he not know the situation going on, not just in Santa Clara County, but California, the nation, and the world? They disputed what Kyle Shanahan said. But to your point, it's not a good relationship between the football team and Santa Clara County as it is.
And now they're scrambling. All right, Dennis, thanks. Well, hospitals in Santa Clara County are preparing for another possible surge after the Thanksgiving holiday. Right now, 80% of beds are full, and hospitals are bringing in extra staff.
They're getting fatigued, but we are doing our best to make sure that everybody's getting the rest they need in between their shifts and their days off. We are getting close to the numbers that we experienced during our peak in late March and April. We're concerned. We are prepared for a very dark winter.
And make sure you're getting our breaking news alerts on our new KPIX 5 News app, so you can keep track of all these big coronavirus developments.
Coming up next, one of President Trump's key advisors on the coronavirus suddenly steps down not long ago.
And the homicide investigation underway tonight in a Target parking lot in San Jose.
Plus, you can call it a crash course on the pandemic. A Northern California university has a creative way to give out credits.
A lot of research on campus is closed. There's a lot fewer opportunities for students to do these kind of things.
We are not saying that people who are living in these communities are racist.
And the new study revealing tonight that one Bay Area county has 6 of the 10 most segregated cities in the Bay Area.
Calm weather out there this evening. Temperatures are going to cool off rapidly, but nice tranquil conditions as we look from Treasure Island towards downtown San Francisco. We'll take a look at how fast things are cooling off already and where we'll end up tomorrow morning, coming up in your forecast.
And coming up all new tonight at 11 o'clock, after KPIX 5 exposed a massive hacking problem involving unemployment debit cards, dozens more desperate viewers contacted us. They say they are out thousands of dollars and cannot get help from Bank of America. Yet EDD and the bank both continue to profit from issuing the cards.
I think that's part of the reason California is pushing people into using the cards rather than using direct deposit.
Watch EDD debit cards, pain and profit tonight on the KPIX 5 News at 11, and we'll be right back. Tonight, San Jose police are trying to figure out who stabbed a man to death in a Target parking lot. Police found him just before 8 o'clock last night on North Capitol Avenue near the Alum Rock neighborhood. He was taken to a hospital where he died. No word yet on a suspect or a motive.
Sales are still booming online tonight thanks to Cyber Monday. Sales could hit almost $11 billion this year. That's according to some analysts. Big name online retailers have been offering deals for weeks now, but some small business owners in the Bay Area are cashing in as well. They also had to turn to the internet when the pandemic started shutting things down.
We decided we were just going to be largely online only. We'll do curbside pickup. We'll do curbside fittings for everything that's not pants. But for the most part, the store is a clean zone.
I don't have any customers coming in as much, but I definitely do believe that our online, as the day progresses, will definitely be a little bit more than what we'll do in the store.
Let's take a live look outside right now and check out a gorgeous sight. Look at that weather.
Doesn't get any prettier than that. I just love that view of the Bay Bridge. Glistening lights there, and it's starting to feel, dare I say, a little bit like winter, especially in the morning. At night gets really chilly.
Yeah, temperatures drop off quickly once the sun goes down with such dry air in place, and the winds are pretty light so the atmosphere doesn't get stirred around. And tonight it's going to be more of the same. Chilly conditions overnight. It will be a bit breezy in the hills, but that's not going to be a major factor for most of us. Mild afternoons, we're warming up. That dry air heats up just as efficiently as it cools down. And the dry weather, in terms of the lack of rain, that's going to continue for the foreseeable future. Let's take a look at Futurecast. We'll start with the wide view because we have just clear skies, not only over the Bay Area, but pretty much across the entire state. We'll wind the clock forward and we're going to see plenty of sunshine throughout the day on Tuesday. Once it comes up just after 7 o'clock until it goes down just before 5 o'clock, some of the early sunset times of the year. But we're going to see some clouds trying to build in towards the coast as the sun goes down tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening technically. And the cloud cover is going to slowly increase as we head through the nighttime hours. It's not going to be thick enough to hold a lot of warmth near the ground, but I think Wednesday morning will be slightly less chilly across the board compared to where we start off tomorrow morning. More on that in a second. And then a mix of clouds and sunshine throughout the day on Wednesday and likely again on Thursday. Lots of gray on Futurecast indicating the clouds. You don't see any green indicating any rain, not even a passing sprinkle. Unfortunately, we definitely could use it, but we just don't have any in the forecast over the next 7 days. Right now, things are looking nice out there. San Jose looking good, where the current temperature is running at 52 degrees. You're down to 45 degrees already in Santa Rosa. Mostly low 50s across the board, including exactly 50 in Oakland and in Livermore. And we'll end up in the 30s in inland portions of the Bay Area by early tomorrow morning. So it is going to be a bit frosty, especially in the valleys of the North Bay. Low to mid 40s right around the bay itself. That moderating influence of the water will be apparent on the temperature map early tomorrow. And the temperatures warm up. We'll end up anywhere from a couple degrees above normal to almost 10 degrees above average. Farther inland, everybody up into the low to mid 60s, except right along the coast. You're going to be close to 60 degrees, but likely falling just short. Low to mid 60s around the south end of the bay, mid to upper 60s for the Santa Clara Valley. Mostly mid 60s for the Tri-Valley with some upper 60s on the east side of the Diablo Range. Low to mid 60s around the Central Bay, and then mid to upper 60s for the North Bay. Just not a huge variation in temperatures. Everybody within 10 degrees of each other. Compare that to just about 6 weeks ago when we had that 30 to 40 degree spread from along the coast to the very hot temperatures that we still had at that point farther inland. That's gone. Temperatures in the 60s farther north as well, Mendocino and Lake counties. Pretty close to what's normal for this time of year, just a little above average. Temperatures are going to be very consistent over the next few days. That slight increase in cloud cover Wednesday and Thursday, not going to matter to our temperatures. Still mid-60s inland with low 60s by the bay and upper 50s along the coast. Looking good into the weekend. Lots of sunshine Saturday and Sunday. The dry stretch of weather continues. We'll take a look at the long-range outlook. The first half of December coming up at 11 o'clock. Liz?
All right, Paul, thank you. Well, here's a look at your top headlines. Just a little while ago, President Trump's special advisor on the pandemic, Dr. Scott Atlas, resigned and will step down this week. He had been criticized for calling for a reopening and saying lockdowns are extremely harmful. Earlier, President-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris received their first full intelligence briefing and held meetings with transition advisors. Tomorrow, they will officially announce members of their economic team. Looking live at the White House tonight, President Trump still tweeting about alleged election fraud. It comes as more states, including Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia, certify their results, officially declaring Biden the winner. President Trump is promising to file a lawsuit seeking to overturn the results. He has a 5-day window to do it.
There are those who are exploiting the emotions of many Trump supporters with fantastic claims, half-truths, misinformation, and frankly, they are misleading the president as well, apparently.
Drug maker Moderna is asking the FDA to greenlight its COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. Trials show the vaccine is 94.1% effective. If approved, Moderna would likely become the second company to be granted the go-ahead. That's if Pfizer is also cleared by regulators for its vaccine, which could come by mid-December. Ken?
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Coming up next, the new study showing an extreme lack of diversity in one Bay Area county. It has 6 of the 10 most segregated cities.
The policies itself could actually keep people away from these neighborhoods.
Plus, a Northern California university now offering coronavirus credits, how it's giving students real work experience. And then later, check out this unlucky bicyclist who gets totally taken out by a wave. Well, you might call it a crash course on coronavirus. At UC Davis testing site, you will find students helping out and earning credit toward their degrees. They're tasked with crowd control, checking people in, collecting saliva samples. 65 students are enrolled in the course called COVID-19 Mass Testing. Course manager Dr. David Coyle says it's a chance to give students hands-on experience. It's pretty hard to find during the pandemic. The university plans to offer the course again next quarter.
It's a lot harder now to say shadow a doctor in a hospital or whatever. There's a lot more restrictions. A lot of research on campus is closed. There's a lot fewer opportunities for students to do these kind of things, and this gives them an opportunity to do that within a safe setting.
Looking live toward the North Bay, tonight a new study from UC Berkeley reveals 6 of the 10 most segregated cities in the Bay Area are in Marin County. Researchers used 2010 census data to figure out that the towns of Ross, Belvedere, Sausalito, San Anselmo, Fairfax, and Mill Valley are leaders in the Bay Area for lack of diversity. In Sausalito, less than 1% of residents are African American. One of the authors of the study believes it's because cities in Marin County have long battled against adding multifamily developments, which slams the door on many lower income families.
We are not saying that people who are living in these communities are racist or this is actually, but the policies itself could actually keep people away from these neighborhoods.
It sounds like it all boils down to affordable housing.
I think it does. I think it does. That's right. Affordable.
But do you think people here are resistant to having them built in these areas?
Yes, that's the truth.
Coming up next, big waves wipe out surfers all the time, but how about on a bike? Well, you got to wonder what this guy in Chicago was thinking. Yeah, look at him. He gets slammed by a wave that comes off, not the ocean, that is Lake Michigan. Falls off his bike. The bike starts going away. Here comes more water. The odds of getting hit by a wave on that road are pretty high. The odds of having a news helicopter overhead to beam it around America, probably pretty great.
And it is not warm in Chicago at the end of November. Not warm at all. So not only is he embarrassed, but he's pretty cold tonight. Thanks for watching at 7. The news continues streaming on CBS Bay Area. See you at 11.